All right, and welcome to the Full Court Press here. I am Anthony, and I am joined by my associate and fellow basketball enthusiast, Jonathan. Jonathan, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm good to be
All
here.
right, yeah.
It's funny just coming back off the holidays, getting into the swing of everything. Back to work tomorrow. I was off today for Martin Luther King Day, so that gave me time to really toss around some ideas for the show and see what we can knock out here.
That's right. All right, I'm excited.
Yeah. So we've got a few great topics to go over today here with everyone. We're just kind of be getting the nitty gritty of what's going on with the season right now. It's heating up, and we think hopefully this is a good show for y'all. So getting right into our first topic here, we are going to try and sort out who are the contenders and pretenders in each conference. And I'm going to defer. Are we going to start with the East or the West here, would you say?
Let's go East since that's your guy.
Let's go East. Well, I'm going to put my bias aside here, and I'm just going to get right into it. Call me I think Boston is the team to beat right now. And, I'm cautious saying that, just looking at the recent history of everything. Last 8 years, I forget what the stat is. I think the last 8 years we've been in the conference finals 6 times, and we still don't have a ring to show for it. But it just feels different with this team right now. The defensive backcourt that we're running right now of Derek White and Drew Holiday.
Derek White's really good.
Derek White is really good. Shaved head, man. I can actually sit and watch a complete basketball game with Derek White's in.
Yeah.
He looks like the Domino's guy that you tell the kids to get in the back room as soon as the pizza shows up when he has the hair. He is that is a look. But
it was a receding hairline for sure.
Yeah. Really, I do think I think if there's a reason we wouldn't, I think it's Joe Mazzulla. If we look at the coaching, I think he's pretty one-dimensional.
For sure.
I think we have the team. I think we're staying healthy. As far as who could compete with us, Milwaukee's going to be dangerous. They seem like they're getting through a lot of their growing pains that they had early in the season. Lillard's hungry.
The defense is still lacking a little.
The defense is lacking a little. Yeah. The defense is lacking. Giannis, he's a stud defensively. He's the best two-way player in the league right now. But when he plays a small ball team like Boston, I think we can run around him. And honestly, I don't see any other teams that I'm really that concerned about right now. Miami has a lot going on. Seem like they find a way every year.
But they're 8-2 in their last 10.
They're
playing real good.
They are, but Hero's having the best a career year also. But
sure, finally healthy.
I just feel like Butler's age is going to catch up to him.
Yeah, well, it always does in the regular season, but he should be good come playoff time, always. I believe in him.
So, yeah. So, talk to me. Are you with me? Or is it Boston's to lose right now? Or
I think it's Boston's to lose, but I think they can definitely lose it. And I think that the Bucks should be favored right in along with the Celtics. Because the Celtics, they just don't have a good track record. They're here every year. They're the favorites every year, and they fall apart every year.
It's like we shouldn't lose, but if any team's going to find a way to lose, it's going to be us.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why. It's just the way it works out. But you guys are a really good team.
We are.
You got a good offense, a lot of ISO scoring, so I feel like that kind of falls apart in the playoffs sometimes if, Tatum or Brown is just not hitting. And the Bucks, I just believe in Giannis a little bit more. If they can figure out their defense, I think, and I don't know, they just blew out the Celtics by over 40 points.
Well, so Giannis finally has a true number 2 scorer he can lean on also.
That's true, but I don't know. I think I might rather have Drew Holiday.
A playoff, I could see it.
You also got to think about the matchup. What's Drew Holiday going to be like guarding Damian Lillard? Is he just going to take Lillard out of the equation?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Or you could switch Derek White on him too, and I certainly don't hate that matchup either.
That's true. You throw all kinds of people at Lillard. Maybe you take Lillard out, and maybe Chris Middleton's not playing right, and Giannis just doesn't have enough help.
Chris Middleton, he is the hit or miss player. Yeah, I think you're right. And the pressure's never been higher for Boston either. If you look at the contracts that we've got with our cap situation, it really is kind of a make or break year for us.
Yeah.
before Tatum. And Tatum will be eligible for a Supermax before too long either. So it's kind of a do or die year for us. But I think we could.
Yeah, you could. And then you got the Heat, though, who are right there. And we know they match up real good with Boston.
They do.
So.
They're well coached.
Yep.
They're well coached. I mean, and Spoelstra got that 8-year extension last week, and he deserves every penny. I really do.
Yeah.
Tip my hat to them. But,
Yep.
So moving to the West now, I think the West is a little more interesting when we talk about who's a contender and who's not. Because I think you have to kind of dig through the standings a little bit to figure out who actually can go on a deep run here. Like, what would you say?
Who can actually go on a deep run?
Right. Like
I think there's a ton of teams that could go on a deep run.
I agree.
Yeah.
Could probably give you 7 or 8 right now.
A team that I really like right now is the Clippers because Kawhi Leonard is looking good.
How long have we been
they got
saying
they got a lot of good players on their team.
Right.
But Kawhi Leonard, if he's looking good, then I believe that it could happen. We know Paul George can fall apart in the playoffs. We know Harden can fall apart in the playoffs.
Right.
But I believe in Kawhi Leonard come playoff time.
If PG,
he's looking good.
If PG and Harden can just alternate nights even, and just one of them show up.
Sure.
And,
yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, you called Giannis the best two-way player in the league, but Kawhi Leonard's right there.
Well, I just go injury history. I mean, I feel like how much credit do we want to throw at Kawhi? But I mean, what was the last year?
We know what he used to be
last
like.
Year he was fully healthy. You probably have to go back to when he was in Toronto, really. I mean, we saw what he could do. So.
Oh yeah, yep. Toronto and Spurs,
and they're well coached too. I mean, Ty Lue.
Yeah, he's coached a championship team before, so
he has.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another one.
Give you another team I really like. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of surprises for me. I'm really surprised the Lakers are so far down than the Suns. But let me think about another team in the West that I really like right now, besides the Clippers. Let me see. Denver, of course, has got to be a favorite.
Yeah.
Hate to go with them because they just won, but they're looking the exact same dominant team that they were last year. So
kind of an easy pick.
But yeah. Go with them. Yeah.
It's hard to hate. It's hard to
What about you? You think the T-Wolves got a run in them, or you think they're a second round bounce, or what?
It's tough to say, really. I want to like the T-Wolves. I want to think the T-Wolves can be that team so bad because I like Towns. He's been the guy since he came into the league, but I don't think Minnesota's there yet.
No. How about OKC? You think they're the same spot?
It's another one. I want to like them so bad. I really do, but I don't think OKC's there yet.
Right.
I think as far as who is going to win the West, I'm kind of like you in that I'm not going to pick anyone over Denver right now because I don't see them any worse than they were last season.
Yeah. But a team I like is the Clippers. To get by them.
If anyone could, it'd be the Clippers, I think.
Yeah. It's Denver's to lose, but if anyone can get by them, I think it's the Clippers.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Dallas might be a sleeper team right now, I feel like.
Really?
I mean, they've...
Okay.
Isolation basketball. I mean, if you've got two guys that can go off like that any given night, I mean, I don't sleep on them in a 7-game series. I mean, you look historically at the teams that have done that and the teams that have gone on deep run. Do you think about the LeBron, Kyrie, Cavs? I mean, you look at Tatum and Brown going deep consistently the last several years. A 1-2 punch really, really can be the way to do things. And
that surprises me that you said that.
I mean, no hate.
I love Kyrie. I don't think they got the defense to get deep, but I do love Kyrie.
Oh, I don't think
they're slipping a little bit.
They
now,
have been a little bit.
Yeah.
They have been. I mean, Luka's having a career year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it sounds like Celtics Nuggets is kind of what you and I are thinking for a finals right now, or maybe Bucks Nuggets, or maybe Bucks Clippers. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I think I would not be surprised if the Bucks Celtics or Heat came out of the East. I really like the Heat. I like just they're there every single time, so I like their chances. And in the West, there are so many good teams. I mean I really don't know. The Nuggets, no one ever talks about them. They just quietly win, and then.
Right.
Yeah, the teams on the top though right now in the West, it's weird. I don't really believe in them. I don't believe in the T-Wolves, and I don't believe in OKC. So you got the standings on you? What does it look like?
It's Minnesota, OKC, Denver, Clippers, Sacramento,
I don't believe in Sacramento.
No,
second round
not
exit.
quite. Hey, if that.
Yeah.
Not quite. Well, they'd play the Clippers in the first round, so probably not even that.
Yeah.
Who is 6? Is Dallas 6?
I think so. Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, Dallas will get.
Yeah.
And
okay, so yeah.
Okay, so moving on here a little bit. It's the big, kind of a hot topic right now. Call them the Twin Towers that are in the league right now. We had much awaited Chet Holmgren, and Wemby's not falling short of expectations at all. So I guess just to ask you a little bit, who do you think is better? Who do you think has meant more to their team long term? I mean, has your opinion changed of either of these two guys so far?
Since the beginning of the season, has it changed?
Yeah.
For sure it has. So Wemby's been everything we expected him to be. I mean, he's got a minutes restriction, 25 minutes a game, and he's balling out. He's putting up some crazy numbers on that 25 minutes a game. And Chet Holmgren, though, I think he's a surprise for me because I wasn't paying too much attention to him. I think it's a huge part of the OKC Thunder right now in their spot in the West and their record. So he's playing great. I would say he's the second best player on that team. So he's really impressed me. Who I think is the Rookie of the Year, I think most people are going to agree that it's Chet because of the impact on winning that he's got. I think Wemby could be the better long-term prospect. I think they're both going to be great. I think they both got great futures on on their teams. So
yeah,
I think the Spurs are going to be real good here in a couple years. So.
Right. And as far as who should win Rookie of the Year, I think it's kind of a similar debate to what we have over MVP a lot. It's like, how much does the team record factor into it?
Sure.
And it's like, for that reason, I think that's the only reason anyone would pick Chet over Wemby, because if you look at the numbers objectively, I think Wemby's clearly a superior player. But
really?
Oh, yeah, I definitely do. I mean, turnovers. The turnovers are the knock on Wemby, but his usage rate usage being so much higher than Chet's. I mean, I almost even look the other way at that a little bit.
Well, but what would you say? You think if Wemby was on the OKC Thunder, do you think he has more of an impact on winning than Chet?
I mean, it's hard to say. I don't think they do any worse with Wemby over Chet.
Really? And you think if Chet's on the Spurs, then the Spurs have a worse record than they have right now?
Possibly, yeah. I would say yeah, because I think Wemby's shown a lot more.
Really? So it sounds like you're saying Wemby should be Rookie of the Year then. You think he's the better player this year?
I'm not necessarily saying he should win Rookie of the Year. I think he's a better player, yes.
Really?
But
okay.
It's kind of having to redefine what is the award actually given based on. And it's like we've done with MVP too. It's like, do we just give it to the best player, or do we have to look at all the external factors too?
Well, but the MVP is the best player on their team.
Right.
Rookie of the Year, Wemby's the best player on his team.
Exactly.
But Chet's not the best player there, so he doesn't have the ball all the time.
Right.
I would say if Chet was on the Spurs, I think they'd have a better record.
Really?
Yes, and I think he'd be putting up crazier numbers. But another thing you got to give to Wemby is if he was playing more than 25 minutes a game, he'd be putting up some crazy numbers too. But if you look at the efficiency and just everything, I think Chet is the NBA ready player right now, and I don't think Wemby is. I think if you switch out Wemby and Chet on the Thunder, I do not think the Thunder have their spot.
Well, Wemby might not be on a minutes restriction if he was on OKC, though. I mean, San Antonio, what are they really playing for right now?
No, I think, I know, but I think Wemby, unrestricted minutes on OKC Thunder. I think the OKC Thunder are better with Chet.
Well, I could see it. It's hard to tell. It really is hard to say. But as far as which one I think is better long term, 7 days a week I would take Wemby as my player to build a team around.
He looks really good.
And I said that before Wemby even got drafted. I just think what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Look, the biggest argument you have for Chet is his shooting efficiency.
His 3-point shooting is really good.
That's because he's not even the best player on the team. Look if he was the best player on the team and you look at who he'd be guarded by, he would be shooting much less efficiently.
Yeah, but who's going to guard his shot? He shoots over everyone. And his unassisted, he does have, if you look at his unassisted buckets, he's got quite a bit of unassisted buckets.
That's fair.
Even for that, he is playing on a good team. He gets better looks than Wemby, but he gets his buckets on his own too in isolation. So he can get it all kinds of different ways. He fits in that team really well.
Right.
In a way that Wemby would not.
Part of me wonders, too, if the voters are going to knock Chet because he's not a true rookie. Because he sat for a year.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to look at him and say maybe Wemby fits the definition of what we're looking for.
I think Wemby's got the hype. I think if the NBA would rather Wemby win, I don't think Wemby deserves to win.
Right. Well,
I don't think he will either.
I think that might be the biggest thing for Wemby is that he's a true rookie. I mean, if Chet, you look at the guys who have won in their second year in the past, you talk about Ben Simmons, you talk about Joel Embiid. He was third year, actually.
Yeah.
You talk about Blake Griffin, won Rookie of the Year in his second year.
Yeah.
They were all landslide far and away the best rookies in their class. Whereas I feel like if it's a toss-up, this really could be detrimental to Chet's Rookie of the Year argument.
Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell were pretty close.
They were pretty close, but Ben was still clearly the better player as a rookie.
His numbers were all better. But
So, in-season tournament, I feel like a lot of people don't really know what to say about it yet, and I mean, I guess I'll start on this one. I like the idea. I question why we're doing it, and I don't want it to just be a ratings boost. I feel like I don't know. For me, I'm just more wondering what's the point. Like, how does this actually give us a better product for the NBA season? Like, when I see the Lakers hanging their in-season tournament banner, I'm just like, is this a joke, guys? I mean, really? So, I just don't. My question is, what's the point? I'm not saying I don't like it, because it might grow on me over time, but for right now, I am a little skeptical as for why we're actually doing this. I mean, I don't know if you have the same take as me or not, but
no, I'm actually got a much different take. I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Why?
So I think it could help them maybe if they moved it a little bit farther, maybe a month farther into the season, because really at the beginning of the season, there's a lot of excitement anyway. I guess, they're probably not trying to run into football and stuff like that, so that's probably why they planned it where they did. But there's a ton of excitement at the beginning of the season, at least for me as a big NBA fan. I'm super excited to watch basketball. But then right about now, it starts to get a little bit boring because, we still got a ways away. Most teams are kind of where they are, and you're just kind of grinding out the NBA season.
Sure.
If you're a Grizzlies fan like me, it's like, well... season's a wash.
Right.
It's like, what are we doing? I'm just ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I love it. It gives you something else to play for. Obviously, it's not going to replace the NBA championship. But
you're right. If you look at the lull for the NBA season, like you said, it is now. It's January, February is really when things. I mean, the All-Star games, but the trade deadline. I mean, you'll usually see that's gives us something to talk about. But, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what do you think it does for LeBron James' legacy? Do you think it does anything? You think it will later on if the tournament's respected a little bit more, or you think? What do you think?
I think it cements that he's a winner.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
it's something that we've been saying all. People love to dog on the finals record, but if you look at his overall body of work since he came into the league, I mean, this is a guy who is a winner, and I think this reinforces that.
Yeah,
but. Yeah.
You think that the Lakers going all in on this in-season tournament has hurt them later on in the season? Like, they're not looking so great now. No. They were looking really good earlier. You think it would have been better for them for their finals hopes if they wouldn't have gone all out?
I think
they would have treated them like regular season games? I
think that's valid. I think it's a real question, and I think teams are going to ask that in the future too. It's like, how much do we actually care about this? I mean, look, we're handing the winning team, every player on the winning team, a $500,000 check. I mean, that shows. I think the fact that they're doing that screams that. So basically, when you do that, you're assuming that the player's first reaction when they see this is, we don't care about that.
Yeah.
We don't care about winning this. And if that's the case, that leads to my next question of why are we actually doing this? And I feel like we're trying to, I don't know if we're looking at the European soccer and deciding we need to be like that more, but...
That's kind of where the format came from, I guess.
I mean, all our players are from there nowadays, so why not? But...
Yeah, but another reason why I love the format that they do it in is it gets us a chance to see other teams that we wouldn't usually see, like the Pacers. They're going to make the playoffs, but, they're not going to be a high seed. No. And they were a team that we got to see Tyrese Halliburton on a stage, balling out and playing some good basketball. We got to see the Orlando Magic, the Pelicans, a bunch of other teams that we wouldn't always see, like on the stage, you know.
Sure.
And got to see them playing some meaningful basketball, some fun basketball. It was
the big
good,
picture,
so.
it's not any more meaningful than the other regular season games, but
Well, it is more meaningful. You're playing for a champion or for a regular season championship.
I mean, we could just write championship on anything, but I mean,
It's a little more though. It's a little bit more. It's exciting seeing Tyrese Halliburton close out those last 2 games. He closed out 2 games in that tournament.
yeah.
You know,
He's
do
a
or
star.
die games.
He's a star.
He cemented. If those were regular season games, I don't think I would have noticed so much. You know.
I don't either.
So-
And that there's validity to that.
Yeah. So then that basketball meant a lot more, and that he closed out on that stage meant a lot more.
Right.
So
So my verdict
Yeah.
is more just give it time than anything else, I would say. I'm not ready
Yeah.
to say love it or hate it yet. I'm saying I
sure.
have place.
I hope they keep doing it though. I enjoyed it. It was fun this year.
So moving on, I had one more topipic I really wanted to get into here with you,
Okay.
and that's the team that I've loved to hate for probably close to a decade now, the Golden State Warriors. You
Yep.
know, I think it's really not much of a secret that this team is rough. Things are not going well,
Not right now.
on or off the court. And I guess my question for you is, what should they do? What should they start selling? Should they just regroup? Should they wait and see if Draymond coming back fixes things? Like, what do you do if you're the leadership of the Warriors right now?
Mm-hmm. Draymond's debut is tonight, isn't it?
It's
Against the
supposed
Grizzlies?
to be, yes.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah,
plan.
or his comeback, not debut.
Right.
Yeah. So what's the question? What do you do if you're the Warriors?
What would you take if you were in charge of the Warriors right now?
Okay. Why don't you give your take on that question first, and then I'll give my take, because I think we're gonna have a different take.
Oh, probably. But
Yeah. Are you for blowing it up?
If by blowing it up you mean move Steph Curry, then no, I'm not in favor of blowing it
Okay.
up. 'Cause I think
Good.
I would say hold on to him.
Not
I
there
hope
yet.
Steph retires a Warrior. I really do.
Me too.
As far as what you should do now, I mean, I just don't know how much you can do, really. I mean, Klay Thompson, just what are you going to get back for these guys? I mean, you went all in 2 or 3 years ago to win a title,
Yeah.
and now you're stuck with these guys. You know, I mean, I would say move towards a buyout for Draymond Green after the season, because I feel like he doesn't contribute enough. And I would say Chris Paul, I would say the same thing also. I would say try to move off of him. Whether it's see what you can get as far as maybe adding a 2nd-round pick, or even if you have to throw a 2nd-round pick out there to a team to take him. I think a lot of these trash franchises might want a veteran presence, whether it's Detroit or San Antonio. Maybe San Antonio bring on Chris Paul as a true point guard to develop Wemby. I mean, don't think there'd be any shortage of teams that could fit. Klay, I would keep Klay around. I would approach Klay about a pay cut, and I think being the team guy that he is, I think he'd at least have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But so in summary, I would say move on from Draymond and CP3. And I know there's nostalgia, but this is a business. I think I go back to the end of Kobe's time with the Lakers. You know, this dude was the highest paid player in the league for 2 or 3 years, coming off the bench, and it set that franchise back for years because they couldn't move on. And I would advise the Warriors to not do the same thing and say, you have one of the greatest point guards to ever walk this earth, and you need to make the most of his time and go out and retool next offseason.
Okay, so we actually agree a lot more than I thought we were.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree that they should get rid of Draymond.
Okay.
But I think moving on from Chris Paul could be an idea.
Mm.
So this team is really weird because last year their starting 5 was amazing and their bench unit was trash.
Mm.
And they got Chris Paul right and trying to shore up that bench unit. You know, like you can split Chris Paul, Steph Curry's minutes.
Sure.
And now all the starters are trash. Steph
Right.
Curry is minus in his minutes. You're losing minutes with Steph Curry on the floor right now.
Right.
Which is the weirdest thing like you could ever say.
It is.
Wiggins is trash. Klay Thompson can't shoot.
He'll
And
sporadically,
Draymond
yeah.
Green is just like punching people.
Draymond,
So
yeah.
it is a really weird season if you're a Warriors fan. But Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to keep Draymond because I don't think he's got value anywhere else. I think you got to keep Draymond. You got to keep Looney. You got to keep Steph, and you got to keep Clay, and just hope that they're going to come back. Come back to life. I think Chris Paul has some value, and I don't think he really fits on this team. I think if you can trade him off for another big wing like Wiggins or something, I don't know where you'd trade him. I don't know what the trade is. Maybe you can do something like that, or maybe you just stick it out and just hope it comes together. Because this team, on paper, it should be a really good team.
Right.
It's just not there.
Chris Paul, and Chris Paul, I mean, we know why they got him. It's because they had to find someone who was willing to take Jordan Poole, so they had to work with Washington on that.
Yeah.
And Draymond, I mean, if he doesn't have value anywhere else, I don't know why we would think he has value here. So I'm saying cut your losses. I mean, if he doesn't...
Draymond has value. He has value in the Warriors system. He knows the Warriors system. All these guys know how to play together.
So you're saying this is the only team he has value on, basically, and no one else would give you enough. You're saying what you'd get from another team isn't enough to.
It's not enough. No, I don't think anyone wants that guy.
Right.
Because he's punching people,
well,
not necessarily because of his play on the court.
Right. Well, that too. That hasn't been good in 4 years either. But
I mean, it's hit or miss, but.
What do you?
He's still the anchor on defense.
What do you do about his contract, though?
Well, I mean,
they're back to a corner. This team literally has a gun to its head right now, and they can't. Yeah. It's like, what do you do? Do you convince Draymond to take less money? Or...
Well, he's not gonna get another payday like he did.
No.
And Klay Thompson isn't either. Klay Thompson will take less because he will not get more anywhere else.
True.
Because he's a sharpshooter whose shot is really struggling. It came alive a little bit for a while, and then he's struggling again. So
he's a 3 or D player who can't shoot threes or play defense right now.
Yeah. His defense was never great after the Achilles.
No. Yeah. Understandably. I mean, no one's is. I mean, Kevin Durant's never was the same either. But they are in a tough spot right now.
They really are.
That team really is, and they've had their fun. I wish I could say I'm upset to see them struggling. I'm really not.
I am. I want to see Steph Curry in the playoffs. I want to see him doing great.
I think they'll find a way to sneak in. I think Steve Kerr is good enough. I mean,
at least playing.
They're 10th. They're 12th right now in the West.
Yeah, they got to pick up some steam.
They'd have to pick up some steam. Yeah, and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Before we wrap it up, you want to give a quick breakdown on the Celtics or whatever? What you want to see from them? I know we talked about them a lot, and I'll give a breakdown on the Grizzlies.
What I want to see from the Celtics.
What do you want to see from the Celtics? I know you're not a Missoula fan, but what do you want to see
Missoula?
from them?
Well, the verdict's out on Missoula. I haven't seen enough of him yet. I think he's fine.
Okay.
What I want to see from the Celtics, I mean, honestly, just keep doing what they're doing. I mean, can we not only put together an 82-game season, but can we adapt to the playoffs? And can we adapt to playing quality teams every single night? I mean, pace yourself in the regular season if you have to. I would rather go in as a well-rested 3 seed than be burnt out as the 1 seed, which I feel like that's kind of what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
And then you see Tatum's ankle injury late in the postseason last year. I still think we take that series against Miami if it's not for that. I would just say have a conservative regular season is the biggest thing I want for them.
Yeah, I think Drew Holiday could be a huge pickup.
I do too.
In the postseason.
He has been everywhere he's been gone.
Especially matching up against Damian Lillard, his 100%. Former team.
Tyrese Maxey too. Donovan Mitchell. He could guard Jimmy Butler. Honestly, I don't hate that matchup.
Yeah, no, I think that could be huge. Okay. Well, I'll just give a quick rundown on the Grizzlies here. Ja Morant is out for the season. I think that's a play for them to get a lottery spot. They're currently sitting as the 6th worst team. Probably hoping to sneak into the lottery. I don't think they're going to have to lose a lot of games, though, for that to happen. So I don't think that'll happen. We'll probably end up with the 6th pick. So we'll see. I think
anywhere from 5 to 8 is probably where Memphis will pick. And honestly, this draft is every mock draft I'm read. It doesn't look impressive for this to draft in this June either. So
yeah, well, you never know.
You never know.
There's always a diamond in the rough. So for the Grizzlies this year, I think that's just waiting for next season for real. So waiting for Steven Adams, waiting for Ja to come back. hoping Jaren Jackson makes a big leap in his game. Loving where Desmond Bain is. I'm sure Marcus Smart is really hating being on this team right now, but you know, to me it was a big shock this year. I thought we were going to be a really good team.
I did too.
Even without Ja.
I did too.
Did not realize how bad Steven Adams being out was going to hurt us. Brandon Clark. Really not a lot of bigs. So Jaren Jackson's been playing a lot of center, which he's a better power forward, but was playing alongside Steven Adams and then playing small ball 5. So
basically.
Anyway, pretty much the season's a wash for us.
Yeah.
And
I think you're, hate to say it, but that's just
where we
it
are
goes sometimes.
Yep.
Well, it's been good. It's been a good session, I think.
Yeah.
I hope you all have enjoyed it too. And we will be back with another one soon. Thanks for joining us here.
All right. Sounds
well,
good.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right.
Talk
Peace out.